thank you. Sarah and I are secretly chatting here. We're trying to come to a decision whether to quickly go through all the questions, make sure that we are kind of keeping our pace with the Twitter chat that's going on. And we at the same time, we want everyone to have their own share of time. So I don't know, let's meet halfway. Let's go through all the questions. And if we skip someone, just feel free to go back to any of the questions that you relate to best. It's not of the key importance to be parallel with the Twitter chat. That's why we have the Twitter chat, because that can go on forever. And hopefully it will. So the third question is, we talked about the success, then we have the obstacles that we always come across. It's necessary if you keep on pushing things. There's one thing that Anita and I talked a lot about, and we have new teachers as our staff members this year. That's how do you respect common goals while staying true to yourself? I think it's very challenging with every new team member. We started that conversation in the previous session. That feeling that you have so much to give in any team. You're a team member in your class, as I said, and then you're a team member with your teachers. I myself am a team member of 3 separate teams, my school, and then a CISA team, and then Connected Educators team. How do you find common ground? I can speak, well, I hope I speak for my teams too, because the similar thing happens. And that's that you have your priorities out there on the table, and they have to be discussed initially. Some things mustn't be discovered on the road. Some things have to be discussed in advance. Common ground, common vision, and preferably the steps towards that vision. And then everything that follows is personal, I'm missing the word, but I know it in Croatian, personal skills that will help that team grow and that will be a useful asset to everyone. How do you not lose yourself? I think that's the puzzle that you're in, to be aware of which puzzle that is, not to step on anybody's toes, and then to openly agree. For instance, with Connected Educator team, it's easy. Do you want me to do this? No, I'm faster. Okay, you do that then. We know now, but now after a year, we know exactly who's better at what. And we just, if somebody doesn't have the time, then somebody else fills in. But usually you know what to expect from somebody else. In my school, I have great help with Anita, because Anita and I both supervise teachers, but it's all about constant feedback mostly. What do you think, Anita?
I've been reading here, but basically, it's related to the second question as well. I think it's a question of trust as well. So especially if you have a lot of team members which are new, and they come to a new company, it's a new set of rules, it's a new way of work, everything is different. So this trust that people have to gain is a big thing. And it also relates to the kids in the classroom. They come from state schools. They come only like once or twice a week to our school. We work differently, and we have to actually spend sometimes a lot of time with kids just to make them believe it's okay, it's okay to make mistakes, you will not be punished. It's okay to say what you think, you will not be punished. It's okay to express your opinion freely. It's not offensive to anyone. If you choose the words, of course, but this matter of trust, I think it's a big thing. When you trust people around you, then you are more open, you are willing to share what you have, you are willing to share what you know, and you're also willing to ask more questions and, even make more mistakes because you feel safe enough. So I think that's one of the things that pretty much covers both questions in a way.
Well, going back to the second question, I think that one of the greatest challenges is to train our students to recognize when real collaboration is happening. I mean, when we are listening, but we are listening because we are open to combine your ideas with my ideas and trying to figure out what could work for me from the ideas or practices that are coming from you. The way that I try to address this issue is I try to model for them how to ask those clarification questions, try to come from an area of, we call it this positive presupposition. So considering that those ideas or questions coming from the other in the same room are because they need more information to get a new conclusion, and they are trying to figure out the whole picture, so they can contribute from their own best skills or their own practices. So first, I think we need to spend some time training our students to identify when they are really collaborating, when they are really asking with the idea of listening and incorporate those new ideas. And then the biggest challenge is when we have to take those practices into the global learning projects. Because talking with the people who is near to you, even if they are coming from different bios, is easier than relating with people who is living another reality. The one who is living in another country under another circumstances, economical, social, political, the one who is coming to the school from a different reality. So translating those skills, the skills of listening, asking questions, positive presuppositions to the global project, and then being open to wait until the other one is ready to answer your question. Because at times when we are working in different time zones, that collaboration doesn't happen immediately. We need to wait to the other one to wake up and be ready to share what they have been learning or what they have to say. So, and that takes me to the third question, which is how to respect common goals. When we as a teacher are coming together to identify areas to collaborate or raise the level of energy in our classroom, we need to remember that we are teaching maybe different subject areas. Maybe the learning objective is pretty different, but anyway, all subject areas can be together in the same project and we can enrich each other. So when designing a new lesson, we're designing a class activity, we can enhance that opportunity for our students. And if I was teaching technology, which is my area, I could say, but remember that these students in Italy, they are learning about history. So how can we use technology to enrich the history, to share our history, to learn from others' history? How your history is related with my history, how my human being has been affected through the thousands and centuries or everything in the human being that I'm now in my current reality. So if I practice as a teacher, listening, asking questions, integrating ideas coming from others, then I will be able to naturally transfer those skills to my students in a daily basis. That's what it is my opinion.
Collaboration actually has 4 levels in my opinion. The first level is always between teachers, and that's a natural thing we all teachers do if you're working in a team to teach the same course or maybe for a project. The second level is encouraging students to work within their own teams and teaching them collaboration skills, communication skills, and helping them learn how to do teamwork respectfully and also collaborating by contributing positively and wholefully. The third level is giving an opportunity for students to collaborate with students in another country, which will give them the sense of understanding the other side of the world and understanding actually how other people work, not just their curriculum. Like for my France project, what the students do, they also found out how they celebrate Christmas, and they saw the cultural part of France, not just learning about electricity for their curriculum and finding out how much electricity they use in their own houses. So that is the third level. The fourth level that I use for my inquiry project, Everything is About Physics, is that every student is encouraged to connect with an expert from anywhere in the world. And they have to find somebody who's an expert because their focus question is highly specialized. So if whatever courses, even if whether it's a sports, economics, a neural, or even a high level physics focus question, they have to connect with an expert from anywhere, and they do that. So during that process, they learn not just to how to network with people, and it actually, they are not intimidated after that to connect with people who know more than them. So it gives them that sense of confidence that even as a student, they have the capacity to connect and converse with somebody who has a PhD in that topic, whether it's within their own school, from their own country, or from wherever in the world. So I've had students connecting with experts in Mexico, San Diego, from India, from China, and sometimes they bring in their Skype conversation within their presentation, which teaches the other students. And the good part about this is when next year I'm showing the exemplars from past years, every student wants to up that. So the projects have become better and better and better. For the collaboration project, my biggest challenge was the timing, because we were 6 hours, there was a time difference of 6 hours. So OneNote, actually, Microsoft OneNote came in really handy for us. So our IT actually department is very, very, like, they are so motivated and so good with us. They created a OneNote in which we actually had students from my school and the French school together. And then both teachers, actually, we were very, very, because we knew each other for some time through a conference and a festival that we both attend. So what we did is we found a common time where we could bring our students together in real time. So that was synchronous collaboration between the students. So during that Skype meeting, what we did is we introduced every student to the whole class on the other side. And this way, they actually selected their partners for their project. So every team was one student from Canada and one student from France. And the interesting thing is that our students are international. So students could actually say, oh, I want to connect with a student who's from Germany in your school. So they could learn German and French from each other. Now then what happened is they connected via OneNote, and they developed their own project through the few months that they had this project on electricity, finding out how electricity is generated, how much do they use, and etc. A lot of questions for them to answer. At the end, we again had a synchronous meeting via Skype, and our principals actually were so cooperative that they gave us that time, which I'm really thankful for. And then during that synchronous final meeting, they were actually chatting online via OneNote and preparing their PowerPoints for the discoveries that they had made. And it was interesting that the French students did their slides in blue, and my students did it in red for Canada. And they made the PowerPoint presentations. Each group made their own PowerPoint and posted in the OneNote that the teachers could mark. So it was an awesome, awesome project, and I wish I could do this more often. But the time, like as somebody else also said, the time is a huge challenge. Because of the time difference, it's really difficult to do this. Not just the time zones, but also what you're teaching at what time. So I was able to overcome once, but yeah. So, but the experts is really important, I think, for every teacher to do for their students. We should encourage them to connect with experts. I do another project with the Canadian Light Source, which is a synchrotron facility in Canada. And the students actually connect with scientists to develop their project and then go and perform the experiment on the synchrotron, which is a huge, huge opportunity for them. Thank you.
Great. Thank you so much for sharing that. That is such a powerful example that you shared, and it really resonated with me.